one cash from Blazing Hot 91.
You can be the next big winner in the blazing hot 91 days of summer. Your opportunity can happen at any time. Keep listening all summer long for the blazing hot 91 days of summer.
Blazing at 91, it is Wednesday, and that means we take a pause for health, healing, and Hampton Roads. And inside of today's show, we're talking to no stranger of the show, Blair Durham. She's a Hampton Road native, as well as she is the CEO of, Black Brand. And let me just say, she is definitely a mover, a shaker in the 757, because she has a plethora of brands under her name. Well, Blair, welcome to the show once again.
Thank you so much for having me, Doug. It's always great to talk with you.
Yes, indeed, and it's glad to have you here. Now, this is a month that is celebrated here in August as National Black Business Month. And inside of this, one of the statistics I pulled up from the U.S. Census is they were saying that Black and African American owned businesses only account for 9.4% of all the firms. That is still below the 13.1% of Black and African Americans share of the total U.S. adult population. And that is definitely low as can be. What can we do to make sure that we are here and growing Black businesses?
Great question. There's never been a better time to start a business if you are an African American. I say that because there are so many resources being poured into the Black community around entrepreneurship. So many programs are receiving funding. So many individuals are receiving one-on-one assistance to start businesses, to grow businesses. That's what we can do. We can jump in the game, right? Mm-hmm. If we have an idea, we can connect to a program, connect to a service, and get some help getting that idea off the ground. I say that because if we don't take advantage of this window of opportunity where all of this help is being offered, it's not likely that this help will be offered in the future.
Yes, indeed. Now, bringing that idea from just being an idea to an actual business, because I know there's a plethora of things that we have to do, like registering the name and deciding
Absolutely.
which way we're going to do the business. What is one of the easiest ways to pretty much look at the scope of things that I need to do and start to just sit down and get it done?
Yes, great question as well. You're right. There's so many things to do, and a lot of times you will hear that the Commonwealth of Virginia has complicated and convoluted process to actually start a business, that it's harder to start a business here in Virginia than it is just about in any other state. But guess what? The code has already been cracked. What I would suggest for someone that is brand new in business is that you absolutely need a mentor, and you need an advisory team. We like to call it a climb team. You need a CPA, you need a lawyer, you need an insurance professional, you need a marketing professional, and you need a banking professional. That is your climb team. Those individuals are resourced to help you build and scale your business. Now, someone listening might be saying, I can't afford to consult with all of those individuals. And that may be true, right?
Right.
You know what rates these attorneys and CPAs can charge. But one thing you can do is if you start by building a banking relationship, you go beyond the teller, you sit down with somebody in the bank that has experience working with small business owners. A lot of times they will connect you to individuals who can serve you. And I'll give one more kind of nugget. Connect with the Small Business Development Center. Mm-hmm. That is an entity that is offering free one-on-one counseling to start your business. There's a young lady, a phenomenal woman here in the Hampton Roads region. Her name is Deborah Hamilton Farley. Many have worked with her one-on-one to get their businesses up and running. She operates the Small Business Development Center there on the peninsula. I'd say anybody, look her up, find her, give her a call. She'd be glad to help you.
Yes, indeed. And we have a center attached here to Norfolk State University, too, that's right downtown Norfolk. Let me just say, Blair,
yes. We work closely with the NSU Innovation Center. Absolutely.
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. And Blair, when I'm looking at business now, I'm looking at there is a lot of businesses who have went under because of COVID-19. And then there are some businesses who have flourished because of COVID-19 and moving their business to a online presence versus a brick and mortar type of presence. Yeah, good point that you raised. I think the numbers are right around 42% in terms of the number of Black-owned businesses that actually closed in the first 3 months of the pandemic. And this had everything to do with the fact that they may not have had that advisory team in place to be able to help them access the needed funding to be able to sustain themselves through the pandemic, right? And then, as you said, many have thrived during these times. I know in particular several bakeries, Black-owned bakeries, doubled, tripled their business through the pandemic because people wanted to get those sweets. They may not have been able to do or get much else, right? But they wanted those things that they that they enjoyed. And you're right, too. The ability to take our products and services online, the ability to monetize not just what we do or what we sell, but what we know as a function of what we do or what we sell, that carried a lot of people through. You saw people creating courses online, sharing their raw material at a charge. And that may be something they hadn't anticipated prior to the start of the pandemic, but they were able to bring in revenue as a result of those new lines of business, new activities inside their business. Yes. Are there any resources, if I want to start a business right now, are there any financial resources that are there for me to help me to get established and to be able to have that startup capital? Great question as well. That's what it all boils down to, right, is access to capital. Oftentimes we can get a home loan, we can get a student loan, we can get a car loan, but we can't get a business loan because there's no collateral in that regard, right, in terms of something that would actually secure that loan. They're not necessarily resources for individuals that are looking to start up in a traditional sense. However, there are programs that do connect early stage businesses to investment opportunities. And that's where I would say, by all means, connect with the NSU Innovation Center there, Akosia Wala doing fantastic work preparing entrepreneurs for capital. Definitely connect with the B-Force Accelerator, which is an initiative of Black Brand. We already have 110 individuals enrolled. They're learning strategic planning, organization planning, and financial planning to prepare them to access capital, to prepare them to talk with investors. These are kinds of things, kind of non-traditional routes to be able to access capital. I would also tell anybody that's got a great idea to consider doing something like Kickstarter. That is a viable way in which to raise capital to go ahead and purchase what's needed to make that first round of sales. One example that I like to give, many people have heard, Randy Williams, Tally and Twine. Tally and Twine is a local Black-owned watch company that is selling watches all over the world. It is a 7-figure brand. He got his start with Kickstarter. He raised over $25,000 on Kickstarter to purchase the first batch of watches to then be able to sell. That's how he validated his concept, using the Kickstarter platform. So sometimes leveraging crowdfunding opportunities like that, beyond the bootstrapping and family and friends and so forth, those are the kinds of things that we have to do in order to get our ideas validated, in order to get our businesses off the ground. Now, a lot of African-American businesses, when I start to look at it, because, all right, we're looking at the S-Corps, we're looking at the C-Corps, the LLCs, but also COVID has brought around a whole slew of people wanting to do nonprofit organizations as well. Oh, I love that vantage point because you're so right.
nonprofit organizations do the work that no other entity can do. They do work that the government can't do. They do work that corporations can't do, right? They fill in the gap. And who do they fill in those gaps for? The Black community, right?
Exactly,
and
yes.
Because of COVID, so we had a need, a serious and persistent need. But then COVID has exacerbated that need. And so you're right. Individuals have been figuring out how to get established, how to get that 501c3 paperwork. I know of many organizations like Gina's iFeed that have thrived. They've gotten underway and thrived during the pandemic. They've been getting the funding that they need to do things like feed the hungry. You know what I mean?
Right.
Clothe the needy. All these basic things that have where the need has become greater as a result of COVID.
And that's one of the things that I started to notice, too, that a lot of people were looking at, I may not want to start that business in which I may have, want to thrive in the commercial entity, but they're saying, hey, let me just start this organization because I want to have a voice. I want to be heard. I want to help the community. And I'm definitely proud of the 757 because we have been stepping up with a lot of different initiatives and making sure things are going. I'm even seeing, celebrities get into the game like Pharrell and making sure that the Hampton Roads area is starting to elevate to a new level.
Couldn't agree with you more. I was looking at some data that was released by the Hampton Roads Community Foundation, and I want to say it said there were around 175 Black-led or Black-facing nonprofits in the Hampton Roads area. These are individuals that are advocating. These are individuals that are organizing people and resources to get things done. And you're right. It is having an impact on Hampton Roads without a doubt. No one could take away the fact that that there is a change that's taking place. People are gaining. What do I want to say here? Confidence.
Yes.
That they can make a difference. And I think in bringing up Pharrell, huge, right? People look at what he's able to accomplish, and they're inspired by that. They're inspired to do a little bit more themselves. And when everybody takes the time to do the part that they can do, that makes a huge difference. Couldn't agree with you more.
Yes, indeed. We're talking with Blair Durham. She is the CEO and founder of and president of Black Brand, as well as the Hampton Roads Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. Now, Blair, I know you have a lot on your plate. Anything that you want to leave with our audience here on this Wednesday?
You know what? Thank you again for the opportunity. I really appreciate the interview. I'll just say this. Black Diamond Weekend is coming. Last year, we made the virtual pivot. We scaled our event to become a full-service conference. I mean, we had something for entrepreneurs of every degree, of every stripe, at every level. And this year, we've taken it even to the next level. So look forward. November 12th through 14th, Black Diamond Weekend. This year's theme is Diamond University. It's a different world, and we're bringing some excellent content for entrepreneurs, as well as those things that folks look forward to. Our 6th annual Black Diamond Affair and award ceremony, the Diamonds in the Sky VIP party. We're just going to have an amazing time. We're going to grow our businesses in the process. We're going to celebrate the successes, the triumphs, the glory of Black-owned businesses in Hampton Roads. So very excited about that. Stay tuned.
There you go. Thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday. Really appreciate it. All right?
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
All right. It's the Blazing Hot Morning Show. To me, a beautiful surprise. It's the Blazing Hot Morning Show.